you the nose cone. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 2 of the Justine Rocket Project. I'm your host Faulkner, and as you can see we've got Justine again. The nose cone has been repaired and she's also got this sort of toughened plumbing piece at the top, which is just basically going to be in case she crash lands again. We've also got the parachutes. We've finally got a parachute on the rocket. We've not only got one parachute, but we've got 2 of them. And I don't know whether they're going to work or not because they're made from materials from t-shirts. This whole project just basically is taking materials from one place and then turning them into something which they're never meant to do, like the PVC pipe, or the t-shirts which have been made into parachutes, or the steel pipe which has been made into engine mounts. So, here are the main things that we're going to be testing in episode 2. The first thing, and probably the most obvious thing, is the parachutes. As you remember from episode 1, the parachute just ripped away. And as I mentioned before, the parachutes are made from t-shirts, so they're made out of much thicker material. But the main thing that we've got to remember is that they're held together with much stronger stuff. They're made from much thicker rope, duct tape, and stronger elastic. It's worth noting though that even though we've got the parachutes on the rocket, it does look absolutely hideous. Remember that all we're doing in this episode for the parachutes is we're just getting the rocket up, which we know she can do, but what we need to test is how the parachutes are going to fare when the rocket's coming back down. We just need to make sure that the parachutes get up with the rocket. As for their actual appearance and how they're stored, we will move on to that for another episode, but for the time being, this is just the test. The second thing we're going to be testing is the case of an engine failure. It's rare, but it does happen that rockets occasionally explode or just simply don't go off. It's rare, but it happens. So, if it happens, how's the rocket going to react? 3 of the engines have fired, 1 hasn't, or one of them fails spectacularly. What do we do? That's what we're testing in this episode. The engine that's already in the rocket is primed to fail. It's going to explode, and it's not going to damage the rocket, hopefully, but it's going to show us what happens when only 3 out of the 4 engines fires. Last but not least, we've repaired the launch pad and we've added a small guide rail. Last time I talked about a guide rail. This time we've actually got a guide rail. It's still pretty flimsy, but it should help just guide the rocket just that tiny bit that we need. So today's the test launch for that guide rail and for the rocket, and if the guide rail sort of wobbles about a bit, then we need to secure it a bit better. Alright, before we launch the rocket, here's the plan. We've got Justine set up on the launch pad here. We're just about to put the engines in and wire them up. And what's going to happen is we're going to try and get Justine to fly the route that she did last time. What happened was, obviously, she went up, she went into a nice arc, and then she went over into the other launch field. If she does that, fantastic. We can then draw some proper data from it. If she doesn't do it, then I just hope she drops into that field. That's all I can say. I don't have a prediction. I don't have any forethoughts. I only have this to say. Let's launch her. Test launch, attempt number 2 in 3, 2, 1, launch! Yes! Yeah! Yes! Yes! Yeah!
It was... I don't think it could have gotten much better than that, to be honest. It was perfect. Oh. Wow.
My initial thoughts are, I am very happy with the results. I didn't see the parachute break away. I saw them nicely open up. I saw them sort of come back a little bit from the rocket, which showed that the elastic shock cord was doing its job properly. I am very happy at this point. I can't describe how I feel, given with the initial test launch, the rocket just fell like a stone, and here it just sailed down. Okay, now the fun bit. I gotta go find it. Oh, beautiful. Here she is. Oh, beautiful. The fin's broken off. That's not to worry. That's easily repairable. Oh, oh no. Burnt string. Burnt parachute. The second parachute doesn't look too bad. I mean, we've got a few bits of charring and we've got a couple of holes there. But all in all, I am happy with that because the parachute appears to be okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there's a rainstorm moving in, so I need to wrap up this episode quickly and I need to do it now. So what can we take away from this launch? The first thing that we can take away is that the parachutes I am 100% completely happy with. Some of you might be thinking, why? They're burnt and one of the ropes was burnt clean through and it came off. Why are you happy with that? I'm happy with that because I simply didn't put wadding in the areas where I should have put wadding. If there was wadding underneath the parachutes, then they wouldn't have got scorched. So I know that's something which, you know, that was my idiocy. I rushed this episode. So accidents happen. And that's what happened. These parachutes got scorched, but I can just make a few more. The next thing we can take away is that these fins need to be reattached better, but the reason why it came loose during this flight is still a bit of a mystery because the cameras can't really tell us much at all. But I suppose all that's left to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is to finally wrap up the video. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you have any ideas about this project, please leave them in the comments down below. This is a project that's always going to be developing. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that like button, and for the next episode, hit that subscribe button. And as always, I will see you next time. Thank you very much.
No, no, no!